You know those AI videos on YouTube that are like Lord of the Rings if it was made in the 80s, or like what Dune characters would look like based on their book descriptions. I feel like that sentiment was the driving force behind this How to Train Your Dragon remake. Like, hey, that would be cool. And then they, remade the whole movie. How to Train Your Dragon is one of the greatest animated movies of all time. It made me fall in love with soundtracks and dragons and Gerard Butler. And it was one of those movies that, after you watched it, you wanted to be the main character, right? You wanted to be Hiccup and had to go get a notebook to scribble your own dragon drawings and inventions in. So when I heard they were remaking it in live action, my heart sank. We've seen how so many of these live action adaptations have turned out in the past. Most have been, kind of soulless cash grabs, lacking the heart and even sometimes the moral fiber of the original. And I think with every live action adaptation and sequel, the identity of the original film slowly fades. Look at Disney. There's no question that the largely negative attitude towards the brand and its content in recent years was compounded by its seemingly endless stream of disappointing live-action remakes, and its consequent abuse of beloved franchises like Star Wars and Marvel. So when the trailers and promotional material for the live-action How to Train Your Dragon dropped, I stopped everything and watched them.
It's okay. I won't hurt you.
But with this one, I'm just confused. Like, I want to hate it, and I want to love it. But amidst the chaos, there is one kind of question that is stuck out in my mind. What's the point? Do we really need this adaptation? Do we really need any live-action adaptation? But unlike adaptations across media, the differences between animation and live-action are not enough to justify an entirely new project. And when dealing with these two mediums, there's just enough visual familiarity so as to spoil creativity. Fundamentally, the idea of a live-action remake is unoriginal. But see, this is where it gets tricky, because it's not entirely uncreative either. Work, passion, creative energy are all required to make a successful movie, and in the case of How to Train Your Dragon, it's even the original director returning to work on the film, so there can be no doubt of his love and devotion to the original source material. But I think the impetus behind such endeavors is a sort of shallow form of nostalgia. It's as if the creators, and at least some of the audience, miss the feeling of watching the original film for the first time. However, instead of seeking to recreate that feeling by creating new, evocative films of their own, they cling to the pre-existing material and IP. As far as the trailer goes, I don't hate it. It bodes well for the movie itself. The effects and kind of world look pretty cool. I don't mind the dragons, and I'm excited to see Gerard Butler back. But just not that much. And then, of course, there's the whole controversy around Astrid. If you don't know, the world of How to Train Your Dragon is very much inspired by Viking and a little bit of Scottish culture. The character designs in the animation, Astrid's included, were created to match that Norse-Scottish aesthetic. But for the live-action remake, they've cast an African-American actress, Nico Parker, as Astrid. Now, as is often the case with some of these race swap controversies, the problem is not the actual person or the character, but the dubious motivations behind such a choice. For the last few years, Hollywood has tried to have their cake and eat it too. Right? They call for colorblind casting and equity among actors, which is something I have no issue with at all. But at the same time, they also have gone out of their way to race and gender swap almost exclusively white characters. And because there's such an obvious double standard, we question these race swaps. They often seem like PR moves, a way to check boxes or please studios or generate controversy so as to stir up outrage marketing. And the casting of Astrid is no different. And I think that, as I have with previous race swap situations, it's kind of a shame that the studio has placed Nico Parker in such a delicate position. She is now the face of this controversy and this political issue, which is really kind of a problem with the studios and their own personal, perhaps corporate effort for virtue signaling or money or to get new audiences. So, overall, my thoughts on the live action trailer and the movie itself are divided. While I don't hate the look of the film, the director, or any of the actors involved, the lack of creativity is disappointing. Audiences are dying for inventive stories, and with the franchises like Marvel and DC suffering from material fatigue, now would be the perfect time to introduce a new wave of blockbuster originals. This really all comes down to a single principle. Invest in the fans. Show us you care, and I promise you, the successes will follow. But as always, these are just my thoughts and opinions on the matter. I would love to know what you guys think about the How to Train Your Dragon live action trailer in the comments down below. Are you excited for it? Are you not? What do you think about this whole Astrid race swap issue? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in ad-free content, bonus content, voting on future video ideas, and a bunch of other perks, feel free to check out the Patreon linked in the description down below. And as always, keep reading, keep writing, and I will see you all in the next video.